Warrior Gaming, what's going on? How you doing, fam? Shout out to you, Warrior Gaming. Lifestyle child of God here. How you doing, everybody? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for everybody for joining. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for subscribing. I'm glad you're doing good, Warrior Gaming. That's what's up. What game you playing today? Same old, same old. You got a new game. I'm gonna do my research today on gaming today. I was a little too close to that speaker. I had to move away from it. Yeah, Warrior Gaming. Oh man, I appreciate that. I know I know people just be saying stuff like that, but I appreciate it anyways. Anyways, children of God assemble. So Maxine Waters, I was listening to her speak earlier, and she was talking about how Trump is federalizing, the federalization of DC, the takeover, because DC crime is too high. Trump wanted to get rid of the slums. Maxine Waters says that that is lining up with civil war, that he's lining up for civil war. What do y'all think about it? Um, Kandu, what's going on? How you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? How are you doing? So yeah, Maxine Waters says that Trump is um, basically lining us up for civil war. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Do you feel like Trump is doing his job, or do you feel like Trump is taking it overboard? What do you think about Washington, D.C.? How do you feel about American politics right now and everything that's going on? Yeah, but Maxine Waters says that civil war is potentially coming. Um, what I can say is, what I can say about it is that it's a possibility. I don't think we're just there yet, but we're getting close to civil war. We're getting close. We're definitely getting close to civil war. We're definitely getting close to uh, dictatorship, complete authoritarian. Um, there's cameras everywhere. The food prices are up. The steel mill just went down. So what's investments on steel going down the drain probably, right? Because the steel mills just blew up. And Trump just signed that deal with the steel mill between the steel mills in Japan. And we had a massive explosion in Pennsylvania of steel mills. So I thought that was interesting, family. But what do y'all think about our current politics? What do you think about uh, the nation and civil war? What do you think about that? Do you think we're headed to civil war? My bad, family. What's up with everybody in the chat? Children of God, assemble. S47AS says no. Warrior Gaming says no. I mean, what do y'all think about DC um, being locked down? Well, it's not locked down just yet, but the National Guard being out there, the increased presence of different types of police, law enforcement agencies working together. Do y'all think that's a good thing, or you think it's a bad thing? I don't really know. I don't like. The only thing I don't like that Trump said is, he's going to get rid of the slums. Like, what does that mean? Who are you directing that towards? But uh, yeah, I think like we said yesterday that it could get intense. A lot of people are not for the uh, what's going on in DC right now. A lot of people are not for that on both sides, but primarily, obviously, on the Democratic side. But I just think that how long are you going to be occupying DC with the Home Act, Trump? That's my question. How long is this going to take? And what are you doing with the homeless folks, man? What are you doing with those people? They were out there last night, based off news reports that I seen, and they got rid of a lot of people. But where are y'all sending them to? And with the current rate of layoffs that are coming down the line within the government, is that going to create more homelessness? So what do y'all think about that? Oh, C. Carroll, we got to block you. Got to block C. Carroll. Got to block that. I don't even know who that is or why they said that. But if you want to address anything, please address it in the chat and address it in full context that I may answer the question appropriately. But I thought that was strange. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, a lot of people like to project their uh, their own mentalities and notions onto me or onto us, but I won't be doing it. S47AS says homeless people are being enabled to be their worst version of themselves. They need an ultimatum to get better. Uh, yes and no. Yes and no. I'm not totally in disagreement with that. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of people who have been like permanently homeless, right? But what about those folks that are disabled? Or we already know that the mentally challenged, right? That they're going to have an issue. But what about the folks that are disabled? What about the veterans? Right? Do they really need an ultimatum, or are they not getting the support that they more than likely been asking for? What do y'all think about that? Bro, don't say that it's not nice. What don't you want me to say that it's not nice? Yo, it's crazy. You want to know what's crazy? Everybody, look at the chat real quick, everybody. So Jada Pinkett, right? So I was just watching content about Jada Pinkett. Some guy that I follow, I think I follow him. He has some content on Jada Pinkett, something about her taking ayahuasca. I ain't never seen it before, so I just checked it out. And look at this. Some troll assuming the form of Jada Pinkett comes up here to talk about Jesus disrespectfully. Man, they hate Jesus so badly, these people, man. Why do y'all hate Jesus so badly? I want to know why y'all hate him so badly. Warrior Gaming, what were you speaking of? And S47AS, I think that it just depends on where those people are in their lives, and that an assessment needs to be done before you can give them somewhat of an ultimatum. If people have been doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're just not getting access to resources, I mean, I think that they need access to resources. But you're not entirely wrong, S47AS. I mean, you're talking about some people who have been in that situation systemically and that have may have given up or may have just stopped trying on pulling themselves up. Uh, Anime Tech 23, Snoop Deal Double G. What's going on, dog? Not really. Every once in a while. Steve Rose, how you doing? Jada Wildin. Steve Rose, who hate him? I don't hate him. Well, Jada Pinkett, I left a comment in the chat. Whoever the troll is that's faking Jada Pinkett's account, they hate Jesus. I don't know why they hate him so much either. Warrior Gaming says W stream. What you mean? Steve Rose, you twipping? Oh God. What resourcing are you talking about? S4 to LA7. Um, I mean like, well, let's talk about the type of resources, right? So we're talking about employment opportunity resources, shelter resources, we're talking about housing resources, we're talking about uh, more than likely food stamp resources, anything along those lines, S4 S47AS. That's what I mean when we talk about resources. Have you ever been a handout instead of a hand up? And you're like, great, not S4AA7. S47AS says, have you ever been given a handout instead of a hand up? And you're like, great, not I don't have to work. Oh, you're like, great, now I don't have to work. Now I ain't never been like that. I always take out whatever's given to me and I apply it towards me going towards something. That's why I start school tomorrow because everything that was applied to me is being applied towards school. Better believe it. Uh, Steve Rose, she don't like Jesus for sure. Yeah, I don't know why she don't like Jesus. Oh, you talking about the real Jada Pinkett? I mean, it's interesting. This person is. These people are watching. This person's podcast in reference to the coverage of the footage of Jada Pinkett. Yeah, she said that she had been reading the Bible her whole life and couldn't connect with God and couldn't build a relationship with God. So I thought that was interesting. It's a good stream. Oh, thank you, War Gaming. Thank you. Where's S47AS? Let's finish having our conversation. Where'd you go, player? Lockheed Martin, I agree with you. They should legalize weed and cocaine. I mean, Lockheed Martin, weed is legal, state, not federal. I think Trump today talked about it as being, or not today, but yesterday, he talked about them lowering you know, the status of the marijuana federally, but just make it legal. I think cocaine and all the other drugs, I do think that they should be legal. I do think that, but I think that they should be federally, uh, monitored, regulated, statewide and federally, and that I think that the use of drugs will go down if drugs are made legal. But that's my personal opinion. That's the whole thing with when you look down, you tell somebody don't look down and they look down, right? Well, you tell somebody don't do drugs, they're gonna do it. But if the drugs are here and ready available, I think you're gonna have a large amount of people start doing drugs that haven't done drugs and that do drugs. But then you're gonna see a large decrease, right? You're gonna see that because it's readily available and because people are seeing what's happening to people on drugs that they're gonna stop using them or they'll just won't use them. You know what I mean? So only way to know is to try it out. Is that correct? Vlog UG. Hey, what's going on, Vlog UG? Woodsy Tom. Woodsy Tom. How you doing, sir? Vlogs UG. How you doing? Good to see you, Woodsy Tom. Steve Rose, Cap. She's reading Necronomicon. Necronomicon. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Steve Rose? There's S47AS. Walmart is always hiring. They can make 3K, buy a Honda Civic, live in it. Next 3K comes a month later, invest in Robinhood or hire a wealth manager who will take 7% acorn slow growth. Well, you know, okay, let's talk about what S47AS is saying. Walmart is hiring, but they're hiring more people. They're hiring less and less Americans. I'm seeing more and more international people be hired at Walmart and any other type of corporate entity in the service industry or places like that. I'm seeing less Americans, and we're seeing more homelessness in Americans. We're not seeing homelessness in the immigrants that come over here or the people that come from other nations. That we're not seeing homelessness with them. They're getting employed as for 7AS, but we're seeing more homelessness with actual American people, white, black. Uh, Spanish, Asian. I'm seeing a lot of Asian homeless people too. I'm like, what is going on with that? You know? So I think that again, like I was saying yesterday, we need to be more of an export country. We need to start growing food, and that'll give us more employment. But we don't want to turn growing food into slavery. No. But S47AS said that they can make 3K buy a Honda Civic. Yep, I did something similar to that when I was when I still work at the post office. But while I was working at the post office, I did that. Next 3K a month comes in later and invest in Robinhood or higher wealth manager can take. Yeah, investments take time. They're not as fast as people say that they are. You don't flip money that fast in investments. Like I said, let's say you were invested in steel. Steel, I know steel had, I haven't checked, fact check me, but still had to have gone down, being that the production plant in Pennsylvania exploded. You're talking about a huge facility, a massive explosion. So it's one of those things where stocks are up and down. The only way to really make money S47AS, in my opinion, is to start your own business, which I'm working on doing now. Uh, I got to get some other things in alignment first, but I'm working on it. I've already began the process. So Warrior Gaming 24761, love the stream. I gotta go to football practice. I'll see you next stream. Warrior Gaming, you have a great day. Uh, I don't know what to tell you about football. I mean, I was gonna say knock them dead, but I don't want you to knock them dead. But go do your thing. You know what I mean? Don't let them bully you around on that field. You be the bully. Lockheed Martin says S47AS is the type to suggest if you are homeless, just buy a house. Well, I mean, you know, Lockheed Martin, that was a little funny. That's interesting. What I would say to what you said is that some people are what is it called just when you just take over somebody's house as a homeless person? What is it called? Damn, y'all, somebody help me in the chat. What is it called when homeless people just squatting? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Squatting. So, you have many squatters out there that take over people's houses. S47AS says, because the international people want to work, homeless people don't show the fuck up for the job. Now, S47AS, that's not true. That is not true. And uh, that's just not true. That's not true. I think that's not true at all. I think that they're just not getting the opportunities. And maybe their skill levels are not up to par to really be working at some of these places that we're talking about. But to say that they don't want to show up for the job, now that's not true, dog. That's not true. That's for 7AS. That might be true with some people though, but the majority, I don't believe so. I think that there's a lot of people that are just waiting to get employed somewhere. You know what I mean? But why are we inviting so many international people over here so that they can take over the job markets? Does that mean that we as Americans leave America and go take over their job markets in their countries? Or do their countries not have job markets? Somebody answer that question for me. But S47AS, you know better than that. I still appreciate you being in the chat and giving your honest opinion about things, though, but you know better than that. That's not nice. Richard Kelly, welcome to the chat. They're living in houses in America are okay. Richard Kelly says they're living in houses. Americans are living in poverty and on the streets. Shout out to Richard Kelly's comment in the chat. I like what Richard Kelly had to say. S47AS says Lockheed Martin, the type of guy to be broke, loser they whole life. Okay, you and Lockheed Martin, y'all want to have a quick hash out debate in the chat? Just do that quickly. Quickly. Get it over with. But I don't want y'all attacking each other, okay? Uh, I think it's Charles Zeta. Let me know if that's correct. This is the first time I've ever seen a name like that before. But Charles Zeta, let me know if I said that correctly. Yes, 100 homeless in America is at a all-time high. Yeah, that's correct. And it's only going to get worse, family. I was listening to somebody's dream the other day. A white guy, older white guy, comes from the old school. Older white guy comes from the old school, and he said that God gave him a dream that everybody was in homelessness. Literally, the international people over here, the Americans here, people who were rich and wealthy, and he's talking about with long money. He said he had a dream that everybody was devastated with homelessness in America. So we got to pray against that, but we got to work against that. There's ways of doing that, everybody. Accurate description of yourself, Lockheed Martin says. Are you talking, Lockheed Martin? Are you talking to me or are you talking to S487? You got to make sure you announce that. Who you talking to? So I can address you if not. Sophia Atlas, hi. Hi, Sophia. How are you? Welcome back to the chat. Welcome back to the live. So just to recap, the original live that we started off talking about Maxine Waters and how she's basically saying that the takeover of DC police, the takeover of DC by federal government is a prelude to civil war. And so what do you guys think about that? And have you seen her interview when she stated that? S4A7 says slow grow wealth is better than living in a tent and being a victim. I agree with the first part of your statement. I don't like that you bashing homeless people, though. I don't like that. Or people who are unfortunate, or people that are going through a tough time. There's been plenty of people, there's been plenty of actors and celebrities and businessmen, plenty. Some are in my short feed. If you check out my short feed, there's plenty of people that have been homeless and turned out to be multimillionaire successes. But yeah, I don't like that you attacking folks like that. But I do believe that what you said at the beginning, S47AS, slow growth wealth is that's the way to go. Lockheed Martin says slow growth ain't coming from Honda Civic and saving 3K out of your 3K wage. Or all right, y'all got listen. S4 S47AS and Lockheed Martin, y'all get this over with and be done with each other. Okay. Uh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, because y'all are just going at each other. It's better than living in a tent being a victim. Okay, 3K gets 3K gets him an apartment. Lockheed Martin says, yeah, but for how long? And how long is his job, Lockheed Martin? Like, how long is this job sustainable in this current environment right now? I'm telling you, with AI and everything that's going on, these job markets are about to really start to dwindle. You're about to see that. I'm a 7 ABCD. Hey, at Charles Seta. I'm a 7 ABCD. Charles Seta said I did say her name right. Okay, thank you. Sophia, hello again. Uh, Charles Seta says I like your vibe and your conversation with the people. Like, comment, and subscribe today. Oh, I appreciate that, Charles Vetter. Always I'm grateful and thankful for everybody who likes, for who subscribes, and who watches, and who enters in the chat. As long as you're respectful, please definitely speak your opinion. Just, we want to make sure that we respectfully speak our opinion honestly. We don't want you to hide anything. We definitely want you to speak freely, but just be respectful about it. And, just want to say thank you to everybody that joins in. I'm very grateful. You guys have really pushed the channel a lot, and I'm just appreciative of that because I like the conversations that we have, and I like that we're building a community. Children of God, assemble! And this is not a channel that are for people who are not Christians. This is for a channel where we do talk about God. Like last night, we were talking about the laborers in the vineyard. But we not only do we talk about God and Christ, but we talk about real day, everyday stuff. You know what I mean? Politics, current events. We talk about a lot of different things, and we talk about gaming. We will be talking about gaming. I think a little later today. I'm going to do some research about gaming and see if that interests any of my gamers. I don't know. I have some gamers on the chat and in the audience, so definitely want to try to cover a little bit of everything for everybody. Maxine Waters says that this prelude to civil war starts with Trump federalizing Washington D.C. Now, D.C. has had National Guard come handle business before, so this is not nothing new. But I think my question is how serious is it going to be? How long is it going to be? Right, the occupation of D.C. Before they give the control. I don't see Trump giving control back. And does that mean that the DC mayor and the councilmen are out of jobs now? Being that Trump has federalized DC, does that mean that they're out of jobs? What does that mean? Does that mean that the federal government completely runs DC now? And how long does this last for? These are questions that I'm asking. If anybody wants to respond to them, but these are questions that I'm asking myself. Like, how long is this going to last? Uh, How much National Guard are you going to use? How much artillery police are you going to be using? Will there be checkpoints? Not just driving checkpoints, but will there be walking checkpoints where you're just walking, and in order to cross the street, you got to go through a checkpoint. You got to show documentation. It's interesting because I also watched a video earlier today where they were talking about how across the United States that a lot of these migrants, and shout out to the migrants, I'm not against you. We let you over here, so I feel you. You're like, should you let us over here? Oh, yeah, we did. During the Biden administration. Remember this, Build Back Better, that was Biden. And then now Trump has the big, beautiful bill. But notice that they're all BBB, BBB. Just throwing that back out of there. Uh, Suleiman Riyadh. Let me know if I pronounced your name correctly. Suleiman Riyadh. Let me know if I pronounced your name correctly. And hello to you, sir. How are you? Peace be unto you. Uh, Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum to you. Um, but yeah, will there be checkpoints? You know what I mean? Will you well anyways, rewind quickly. Back to what I was saying about the immigrants. They were getting illegal licenses. They were getting illegal licenses. So they were basically able to come over here and buy driver's licenses illegally and then just get driving jobs. And see, this goes back to S4K7 S47AS. Um, how you supposed to get people not to be homeless? You got all these people from other nations over here that supposedly yes they want to work. Not that Americans don't want to work, but the thing is like if they're out here getting illegal driver's licenses to work, I mean, how do you think that works? S47AS. You think that's okay? Are you still in the chat? Are you still here? I wanted you to respond to that. Suleiman Rihad, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm trying to get good with names. Thanks for everybody that joined the chat. Thanks for everybody that joined the chat. And thanks for everybody that liked. Thanks to everybody that's been subscribing. I really appreciate that. But what do y'all think about civil war in America? A lot of everybody in the chat earlier, they were saying no, that civil war is not, they don't believe civil war is coming or they don't see civil war coming out of this situation in DC. Um, but, I just feel like Trump is becoming a dictator. I feel like Trump is becoming a dictator. We already know he's narcissistic, but a narcissistic dictator, that's something interesting. And I feel like I do agree a little bit with Maxine Waters says. She said that, he's buddies with Putin, he's buddies with MBS and Xi and Kim Jong Un and all that stuff, right? But that she was basically insinuating that he wants to be like them. And I don't know if he wants to be like him, but it does seem like he's becoming more conformative to the ways that they run their countries. And so we got to watch that, family. We got to watch that. Remember, our Constitution says that we're allowed to stand up against the government. We are allowed to non-violently, non-violently. I say non-violently, but the Constitution does say we have the right to bear arms against not only foreign powers but domestic. The Constitution says that. So I'm not spreading violence, but what I'm saying is that we have a right as American citizens to stand up against our federal government if need be. I don't know what would account to be a need be situation. You know what I mean? But I think the time is now to do a non-violent protesting, extreme protesting. Um, but we got to do more than protesting. Uh, we got to start doing a little bit more than just protesting, right? We got to be more strategic, and we're gonna have to get at some of these corporations. We're gonna have to get at some of these lobbyists. That's what we should do. We should locate and identify who are the lobbyists, right, for these different powerful entities, and we should protest and lobby the lobbyists. Does that make sense? I know you're laughing at me out there. It's okay. But we should protest and lobby the lobbyists. We should go after them. That they be like, shoot, I'm scared to go lobby because them people out there waiting for me. You know what I mean? That's how we should handle some of these lobbyists uh, that are, lobbying for corporations and for entities and powerful places and situations that are not making America great again, right? It's my opinion. Woodsy Tom says this is the First and Second Amendment needs to be protected by any means necessary. I mean, Woodsy Tom, this is what I'm trying to tell the people. Like, uh, things are getting worse. They're not getting better. And a lot of the people from other countries are just going along with the narrative, right? They just like S478S said, they want to come here, they want to work. Cool. They're sending a lot of the money that they're making in America back outside of the US. It gets reciprocated into the American economy, but not as much as we think it would be. And when you have stuff like that, it minimizes our economy. But there, a lot of the immigrants that are coming here from all nations, they're not understanding, or they don't foresee, or they're not really familiar with American history to understand that we're constantly going up against our government to do right by us. You know what I mean? That's what makes America America, dog. And that's why people want to come here because you have the right to fight the power nonviolently, and advocate and protest. And obviously, there's a whole bunch of benefits here, dog. We give out benefits to everybody. You know what I mean? And so the homeless should be some of those people. There shouldn't be homelessness because they should be the first ones getting benefits, in my opinion, um, over the people who come here from other countries. If you're a native born citizen, or even if you were born on a military base, you're an American. You should get benefits first, right? And everybody else comes secondary. That's just my opinion. And I think that that would be a part of the solution to get rid of homelessness, right? Because when you have a system where there are benefits and you got other people from other countries able to, uh, they don't have to pull themselves up from the bootstraps like that. They can assemble. They can assemble into incorporate themselves into the benefit system within America, get benefits, and overload our system. And then that's why you have American people who are suffering that are in homelessness. And I'm not just talking about me. We know I'm homeless and everything, but I got things good working out for myself. Like I said, I start school tomorrow. Um, and I have other things in the works that are working for myself. I'm working on starting my business. See, I'm able and I'm keep pushing myself because I believe in myself, right? But the thing is, there's a lot of American citizens that are homeless that need support and that are not getting the support. And a lot of them are veterans, meaning that they fought in the wars that keep America safe. And these veterans are living on the streets. You know, and that's the sad part about America, that we take care of others before we take care of ourselves. That's the sad part about America. Uh, but yeah, back to what Woodsy Tom says, we definitely need to protect the amendments, first and second, but all of our amendments need to be protected. And that's why I want to be a lawyer, because I want to help with the combating of the non-protected advocacy of our rights as Americans, because we need to protect our rights. And I think that a lot of the international folk, they come here, they just want to work, but they don't understand the politics of them coming here and working, the the outcomes and the effects, the consequences, the things that happen based on them coming here. And we Americans fought for the rights that are in place, right? So if these rights get pulled out from under our feet, right, and we don't have any rights anymore, that means all you international folks that come over here, whether you're citizens or not, y'all not gonna have no rights. And then y'all gonna be trying to flee this country and go back to your countries, and it's gonna be too late for that. It's gonna be too late for that. Because once you over here, you over here. The way that things are going, so we got to fight for our rights. We got to fight for our Bill of Rights, 14th Amendment, all amendments. They're put in place for a reason. And our Constitution gives us the right to do that, right? Our Constitution gives us the right to facilitate uh, order against the federal government, if need be, if the federal government is out of hand. Now, I think the problem is in society right now is we are determining whether the federal government is all the way out of control or not just yet. But yeah, family, definitely want to say again, thanks for joining. Thanks for donating. I appreciate that too. Thanks for emailing me. I appreciate that. Let's stay in contact. Lifestylechildofgod at gmail.com. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about Maxine Waters really quickly and what she said, because what she said is kind of what the justice said. What's the black justice's name? I forgot her name. But there's a justice, a black woman. She put out not too long ago, maybe 2 months ago, she put out a statement, a letter, stating that things in America are about to get tremendously worse. The way that things are going, the way that things are lining up, she foresees that Americans will be losing their rights, and that things will get extremely tough based off what this current administration is doing. You know what I mean? So, and I know that some things have to be corrected. You know, when Trump got in office, he did say that this wasn't going to be an easy ride. I'll have to say that Trump did say that this was not going to be an easy ride, that things would get tough as we make a autocorrect. So shout out to Trump at least for that part. You know what I mean? Shout out to you for that part. Uh, I just want to say that I'm not Democrat or Republican, by the way. I'm neither. I'm an American citizen, and I believe in a republic. And I believe in freedom fighting, the fight for freedom and the fight for your rights to stay in place. So that's what I stand for uh, politically. Uh, Man, I know YouTube is about to copyright me for the music in the background. I know YouTube is about to copyright me for the music in the background. I'm sick with it right now. I'm a little tired, not too tired though. But thanks for noticing, Brad. Well, I did three streams yesterday, and it's a little tiring. You know what I mean? You do three streams, three live streams for an hour each. It takes energy out of you. You know what I mean? So you guys keep me going in the chat, and you guys keep me going. So I appreciate that. But yeah, Rab, I think your name is Rab. Yeah, I am a little tired though. Uh-oh, somebody got about something crazy to say. Starlet, Snoop double G. Oh God, let's show what Starlet said. Although he used an infinity I would not use with the holy ish. Says, are you Snoop Dogg? Am I Snoop double G? No, I'm not. I don't wish to be either. Starlight. What does Starlight mean? Starlight. What does Starlight mean, Starlight? I'm about to go to the gym in a second here, guys. I just wanted to touch base with you politically and talk about this Maxine Water thing and what the justice said. You know, remember, um, Starlight, you're funny. Starlight said, "Damn, okay, bye." Man, if I was Snoop Dogg, I'd have a joint lit up right now. You know that? I'd have a joint, the biggest joint. Okay, the biggest joint. I'd be puffing it right now with my robe on. I don't got no robe on. I'd have a robe on. If I was Snoop D O double G, I'd have my joint, the biggest joint you've ever seen in your life. As Donald Trump says, the biggest. I would have the biggest joint in my life. I would have the robe on, and my hair would be done. You know what I mean? Uh, if I was Snoop D O double G, I called Don King yesterday. I thought that was funny. I did look a little Don King esque yesterday. It was a little funny. Shout out to the trolls. You guys keep my heart full of laughter. And shout out to the haters and the congratulators. I appreciate you all. Thanks for liking, by the way. Thanks for liking, by the way. And thanks for the donations. Lifestyleshotofgod at gmail.com. That's my cell. And lifestyleshotofgod at gmail.com. If you have any prayer requests or if you just want to chat it up, shout out to Jessica for sending me that book. I appreciate that. So I definitely going to begin looking over that. And I think today on my schedule is to start the Indian religious text. What is it called again? I got it written down. But I think today I'm going to start the Indian religious text. I can't remember what it's called. It slips my mind. But anywho, guys, stay vigilant out there. Stay aware of your rights. Stay aware of the rights that could be taken from you. Pay attention to politics. Pay attention to geopolitics. Pay attention to food right now. Pay attention to everything really, and stay prepped up and stay ready just in case anything can happen. Appreciate you guys, the likes and subscribes, always, always, always. And I might do another live today. I don't know. I have school tomorrow, so I need to stay rested. I'm gonna be in school all day tomorrow, so I may not see you guys tomorrow, but I'll definitely chime in with you guys Thursday if I don't see you tomorrow. But I might do one more live later tonight, and I think we're gonna talk about the Word of God, specifically. There was something specific I wanted to talk about in Matthew. But anywho, lifestyle here, child of God. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I'm really grateful. And like I said, pay attention to what's going on around you. You never know. Things can change just like that. Peace, y'all.